The Comedy Store would like you to know that the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are strictly those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by the Comedy Store and its affiliates.
We don't have headphones?
Are we rocking? No headphones.
I like it.
Do we need headphones? He's good. All right, we can just go.
I'm excited. Are we ready? Don't just look at me with your hair pulled back like that.
Unbelievable.
Really disgusting.
You know, sometimes they have this pop superstar producing behind there. Now we got the food runner guy.
Now we got Slick Rick back there. Don't hand me like that. Shut up. Oh, sorry. That's rude.
We're here.
Comedy Store Podcast. We're back in the studio. I'm assuming this is 6
This
feet.
This is the new studio. And it is
glorious.
Yeah, it's much nicer than
glorious
the old studio.
Is a good word for it.
It doesn't even smell as much like death and hauntings.
True, and we're not getting like sprinkles of asbestos in our eyes, because
not anymore.
They stapled this up. So
the good days are over.
Yeah, no more fun. No more fun, guys. You know that you used to be able to feel Mitzi in the walls.
Yeah,
she peeked through.
Remember?
Yeah, she grabbed us a couple times.
She'd do the credit card finger down the ass crack when you least expected it.
That's your
Argus
favorite.
will back me up on that.
Argus, right? I miss Argus. I feel like I haven't seen Argus. Is that weird? Like that I miss Argus?
I saw him once, maybe like a month and a half ago. Our schedules very rarely overlap.
Same. I'm always late. So.
He gave me some cooking tips on how to cook chicken nuggets in a microwave.
Wow.
And
and it wasn't asked. This was just voluntary. Amazing.
There was a discussion about how my daughter doesn't like to eat food.
Got it.
And
he decided.
He
I don't
said,
have kids.
Yeah, you're cooking
do.
chicken nuggets. I got the secret to doing this fast. There's like a minute on each side, a little bit of olive oil, a little crisp right up right there in the microwave. Like,
no
okay.
way.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'll consider it.
Did you try it?
I haven't tried it yet.
Rick.
I just use an oven,
A regular oven.
I'm one of those, I'll use the oven people.
I don't like microwaves.
There's a government conspiracy going on with microwaves, and a lot of people aren't talking about it.
I think you're right, and I think the conspiracy is.
I'm hooking the conspiracy people.
Good, yeah.
This
Well,
podcast.
we need. They follow hard. If you guys, we're into conspiracies.
There was a lot of talk, a lot of chatter over the pandemic about when we were away.
Sure.
And people were saying, the problem is it's not enough grifting. The Comedy Store Podcast needs a hook.
And you know what? This is our new hook, guys. So we are here to tell you there's a conspiracy that a lot of people that are funny aren't really funny.
I keep looking at the cameras and I'm realizing no one's ever going to see this video footage.
How do you know? Where does it go? Just out in the
sure.
cloud?
I'm pretty sure
our
producer just takes it home. He puts it on.
And just rubs one out to
Well,
it?
I was suggesting he
now
transfers
Rick, now
it
Eleanor, now
to
Rick.
VHS. He seems like he's a old school
That's perfect.
masturbating content user.
What did you miss? What did you miss most about this place during the pandemic, or comedy in general?
I guess I certainly missed performing in general, but I don't know. I just it felt weird not coming to this dark place.
I know.
And like just experiencing even the nights that suck, where you're just like, well, it was something.
It's still the store.
Yeah.
Now, would you what if it went away?
Then I guess I would be a retired comedian.
Wow. Rick,
I don't get spots anywhere else, so.
But you can get spots.
I don't think
places.
I can.
Really? Why do you say that? I disagree. I think if you hit them up, they would.
What do you mean hit up? Who am I supposed to hit up?
Email them. Say, hey, I'm in town. Email them until they get
always
so bored
in
with
town.
Yeah, but they're not like, oh,
I'm not
I know
just
who's
gonna.
in town.
I'm not just gonna Josh Nasser comedy clubs.
Why? It works.
I know, but then you're that guy, and I never want to be that guy.
I don't know if he gets that many. Maybe he does.
That's
a
special level of not good. So even annoying. A lot of times they're like, he's mediocre talent, but he's super annoying. Give him a spot so that he just stops. But with him, even then, there's like he'd call every day. This shit isn't happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this place closed, it'd be.
I literally was thinking of that the whole time. I was like, what? I mean, I do work other places, yes.
Yeah, you work a lot other places. They like you other places.
I try. And I try to be nice. Even if I don't want to be.
I can't do it.
And I don't want to be a lot.
Yeah.
Trust me. And sometimes I'm sitting in a room and I'm like, I'm on a show with people that I'm humiliated.
I can't do that.
Sitting with. But I just do it. I just got to do it. I was doing a show a couple weeks ago on a patio. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but a rat.
Oh yeah.
What? A rat ran right across the thing. I'm like, we got to go back inside.
Yeah, I can't do that. My comedy was not made for patios. Gardens.
That'd be so amazing.
None of the above.
The neighbors coming out like. Well, the first time I performed outside, I'm like, fuck, these neighbors are gonna be like, what is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
Why does Caitlyn Jenner curse so much?
This is what we're doing now? Maybe we should just let everyone die.
Yeah.
I think there had to be a lot of neighbors that thought that, like, what? Really?
Is COVID not killing anyone?
How are these comedians not dying yet?
Shouldn't it be killing people at a more rapid pace?
That's when the conspiracies really started, once they saw that there was comedians freely moving around.
The conspiracy, well, also, I heard somebody yelling the other day, if there's such a thing as this, whatever, COVID or whatever they called it, I forget. I feel like they said a different word. Pandemic.
Yeah.
If there's such a thing as this pandemic, then why are these homeless people not dead? And she was on the street, like, pointing at homeless people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't have enough problems, bitch. Now you're screaming in their face that they should die.
Have you missed the last 2 years? If you're outside, you are cured.
Hello.
They're the only ones who figured it out.
That's why we were performing outside.
Never go indoors. And they were like, no problem. And then they went over and licked a dead rat anus that's just rotting in a street gutter because these people are monsters.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I ran into a friend who's on, I'm not even sure what kind of drug, but it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. I don't know if it's meth, heroin, just fentanyl. I don't know what
it's
he's
exciting that it could be meth or heroin because those are two very different highs. I feel like you're not schooled in the ways of
I think you're right because he was energetic.
Yeah, that's more a meth or cocaine then.
Right, not a heroin. Heroin's like a
that's a zombie.
I've seen that in Kensington, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, and
the homeless population is heavy into that zombie mood.
Really bad, yeah. And but my friend, he's homeless as well, and I ran into
Your friend is homeless?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a kid I grew up with, and he was like, "Yo, wow!" And it was 2 a.m, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Nice. Did you shack up in the tent?
Of course. He didn't even have a tent. That's what I'm
Damn.
worried about. And I mean, this was like a really good friend.
As poor as it gets.
This is a really good friend.
Okay.
And I mean, I felt.
Is this one of the Marios?
No, but related.
Wow. Okay.
I felt really, really bad.
Poor Luigi. That
I
fucking guy.
know, poor Luigi. And then he was like, "Dude, I want to start doing comedy." And I'm like, "Perfect."
Yep. Yeah, that's
perfect.
He's in the right beginning point. You want to be without anything.
By the way, he is hilarious, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do? You know?
Well,
he's like, "We could be a team." I'm like, "Okay."
That's an interesting perspective.
I think that would work.
If he could do something like maybe sell bottles of sand art down in Venice, then he could pull this thing off for at least a baker's dozen years. And then realize, maybe this wasn't the dream all along.
Yeah, I met a guy last night that carves owls out of stone. He showed me a lot of pictures, and oddly uncomfortable about pictures. They were beautiful, though. It was awesome.
Was this at the Comedy Store?
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Right after my set.
We got
came
the best
right out.
owl carvers.
We get the best. And it was for, like, a good cause. He was a nice guy. You're not going to like this part. He was Canadian.
Disgusting.
Canadian. I said,
yeah. Just going to carve these owls out of this lava rock, okay? Is that all right with you, America?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And he was so sweet. And I said, "Did you see Rick Ingraham perform?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah."
That son of a bitch.
But he liked it, so he was into it. So we'll give him some credit.
I won't give him a single ounce of credit.
It made me watch a video. It was very uncomfortable, but awesome at the same time.
What happened to the Eleanor who had just hit strangers?
I gotta be honest. I'm trying to be a better person.
That's a terrible plan.
Well, also in Los Angeles, you can't just hit anybody. They press charges out here.
We're gonna lose all of our listeners if you start trying to be a better person, Eleanor.
Well, Rick, I mean, honestly, first of all, by the way, there was a lot of comics around.
Yeah.
And all of them abandoned me.
Yeah.
When the camera broke out and he's showing me a video.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, nobody's.
Well, it's more of a personal thing. No one wanted to, C
do a
block
pick and roll here with a little block, nothing.
Eleanor's watching videos. This is. Let's give her some space so she can hone in on this gentleman.
It was like that. They all just kind of migrate. And I'm looking around, and it's just me and him in a corner, and I'm like wedged.
How old is this maple gentleman?
That's hard to tell. I'm not good. He was Indian. So
native or
native.
Wow.
So maybe in his 50s, maybe 50.
Yeah.
I'm not good. Like he could have been 100, or 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm terrible at age.
Yeah. Racist.
Are you good at that?
I can guess someone's age within 3 or 4 days of their birth.
Shut the fuck
Pretty
up.
Easily.
Rick.
Eleanor.
This could be.
If the Comedy Store closed, I could be a carny tomorrow.
Yes. Now this is a plan.
This is my grifter plan.
This is a great plan.
Yeah.
We're in Venice Beach.
So
I'll be your sidekick. I'll get my friend that's homeless. I'll fly him out. He'll do the sand.
See, now we found the comedy duo. This is working out great.
I think we got a future.
I think the Comedy Store should focus more on bringing back that homeless element of pre-COVID.
Okay.
Like, I haven't seen any of the crazies. Like, what happened to Boone? What happened to Mickey?
Well, Boone is definitely not dead.
Yeah.
Like, he had AIDS twice.
Yeah, you can't
there's
kill
no way.
Boone.
Like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Mickey, we thought. Oh no, wait! It wasn't Mickey that we thought died. Mickey's probably in Thailand. Mickey had money. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, Mickey was the one that gave me a black card, and I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
A black card?"
He was also a Bollywood movie star. One of the greatest interviews I've ever seen on the internet was this, what we all thought was a homeless man that performed at the open mic for decades, starring in a Bollywood movie as the American, and getting interviewed and going, yeah, I think a lot more Hollywood stars like me and Richard Gere are going to be coming to India. Thank you. And that was the end of his interview. I was like, they just interviewed him like he's a legitimate movie star and not.
And he probably had the black glasses on.
Sunglasses, big mustache as usual.
Yeah. And he'd be like, could I get a Coke? And I'd be like, oh, fuck, now I'm going to have to give him a Coke for free.
Yeah.
And so I would just always, sometimes I would even forget it. Like I would just, because I'd be busy.
He's
and I'm like, he's homeless. He's not giving me. And one day he asked for like a beer. And that was weird. Like he always asked for soda and then he asked for a beer. And he did always pay or whatever. And I would always be like, don't worry about it. Because I really thought he was homeless.
Yeah.
And so he ordered a beer. And I was like, shit, I'm not going to be able to give him a beer. A soda, yeah, you could get away with. But a beer,
yeah.
I got to write something.
Yeah, I mean,
the homeless guy, Mickey.
Crazy people are looking to get fucked up. You got to charge them for that.
Right. So I was like, I think this is so weird because it just came in my head. I was like $4.75 because that's how much the beer was. It's probably $12 now.
Haunting that you still remember the price.
So I know.
Was he that was the price of a domestic?
Domestic, yeah.
For a non
$5.25 was the imported.
What were the comic prices back in those days?
$2.50 and $3.50 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though coffee was $2.50. Anyway,
matter.
No, but sodas and stuff were free.
Right.
And now they charge like I think $5 or $6, like Starbucks.
If
coffee.
you don't charge enough, then people think there's something wrong with you.
You're right.
So
we've turned into China. They won.
They always were ahead. That's what we never realized. Part of the American fantasy was that we were ever winning.
Right. It's all fantasy for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A world of credit. We're getting into socioeconomic interests here.
This
on
is
the
part of
Comedy
our
Store
conspiracy thing.
Yeah.
Theory.
It's a whole different. We're going to start doing a lot of elements. We're going to have a financial segment, conspiracies. We're going to do Comedy Store sports later.
Ooh, I like that.
That's where we get the general manager Richie on, and we just listened to him rattle off his stats from the football combine when he was 17, 18 years old.
What was it that he could run?
He could run a 40 in 2.3 seconds.
Got it.
The world record
Makes
by at least
sense.
1.5 seconds. But the problem was that he was too good, and so no one would.
That makes perfect sense.
Start.
I played softball with Richie during the pandemic, so I believe it. I saw him limp off the mound, and that's probably because he was running so fast.
Yeah.
That it, messed up his hips a little.
He was born with cheetah tendons, and unfortunately they're a little tight.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with that.
And so he was, so precious. Sometimes he just hit the ball so far, and then we'd have a runner for him. So
listen,
so good.
He once told me that when he was in a wheelchair after his motorcycle accident, that he could be.
Hey, I was there for this, so go ahead.
He could be a better quarterback than the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback.
Hey, wait. He might not be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember who it was.
I was going
it
to
was
say,
like
I'm trying to
the
think.
14th quarterback in 15 games. Even in my wheelchair.
I could just see Richie.
All right.
And he was in a body cast.
Yeah.
I mean, he was jacked up. And
Yeah.
I went to visit him in the hospital a couple times just because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And so I could just see him with his arm
when we get the funding
Okay,
to
you're
have
right.
On the scene, Comedy Store sports segments,
we could get some wheelchairs at Rite Aid.
We will body cast him up, and we'll put him up against Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
because I think it's a lifetime. He's always going to be better than whoever the Browns have.
I'd like him to try to beat me at this game. I'm a hell of a quarterback, FYI.
Eleanor, no one's going to challenge you to any sort of physical contact.
I mean, well, not a fight because that's nobody, of course.
Yeah.
They're not stupid. But I played football basketball against my nephew a couple weeks ago.
It's a combo sport?
Yeah, and I like the way you looked because you don't play hood rat games.
Yeah, I don't know about
so we play
football, basketball.
If you don't have a basketball, but you have a football and there's a basketball net,
Sure.
Hey, we play around the world with the football.
Okay.
Not easy. Get that football in that basketball net. It bounces off.
I can do it every time. Swish. Easy.
So I beat my nephew, and I mean,
how old is this kid?
10.
All right.
But it was close.
Yeah, but you made sure he understood.
He's an incredible
that
athlete.
Sometimes you lose at life.
Of course. I will not let this kid win, and I danced in his face.
Yeah.
And then we were walking out of the playground, and there was a brick on the ground, and I said, "See that?" And he went, "Yeah." And I said, "That's you. That's what you throw, bricks."
Damn.
And then he went, "Oh yeah, see that?" And I went, "What?" And he goes, "Air. That's what you throw, air balls."
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay,
Wow.
okay, this kid's right on track."
Yeah,
This kid's
no Christmas present for him. You don't say stuff like that to the queen.
That's my boo. And so we will play again. He said, we'll play again, Annelle. And this time, we're having different rules.
Wow. I mean, very.
But I always get picked, like when we play during the pandemic, I went home a lot.
Yeah.
I started a gang with my nephew.
Yep.
A lot of 10-year-olds. At first he was like shy. And he goes to a different school, not a school in the neighborhood. So his friends are from a different area. So during the pandemic, it's like, what are you going to do? So he
had to hang with the neighborhood
crew. And he didn't.
He's already rejected them.
Right. And so I was over, we were at the playground and I'll play. And I met this kid. I go, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's like, "Don't you do it."
Yeah.
And I did.
You're making friends for him?
I did. But in a way, because then he was like, "Oh, don't you go to," and then they started talking about the schools they go to. So he did know one kid. And then all of a sudden it was like, "Anna, I'm going with my friends." I'm like,
wow.
"Oh, you little shit."
Yeah.
Okay, that's my gang, bitch.
Yeah, he's found his own world of Marios.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So now is he tomfoolery afoot? What's going on?
No, he's a good kid. We're lucky.
He's out.
We're lucky, man.
Do you have any bad nephews?
I wish.
Yeah.
It is weird. We have all good kids, and I think that's amazing.
It's a generational skip.
Yeah, my Jimmy could have went that way for a minute, but he, because he roughhoused a little bit, like
Sure.
growing up, and but now he plays for the Twins, and he's He's amazing.
He was a good American, is what you meant.
He became a good, he's a good egg. He worked hard, and he got into the sports instead of into the nonsense.
How many of your siblings, direct siblings, would you say are good people?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm going to say all of them.
Wow. Really unbelievable answer. It can't possibly be true.
They're good people. I mean, they'll hurt you if you cross them.
Sure.
But they're good people.
How do you rate yourself on the good person scale? You said you're trying to be a good person. Does that mean you don't consider?
I'm trying to be nicer to people.
Right.
Whereas not to like look and judge and be like, that's pure trash. I don't want to be anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Where I'll start to have a conversation with somebody. Like, I mean, we were talking about Mickey and those guys, right? And like when I asked him for, I said, you have to pay for that. It's for whatever. And he handed me the black card. I was like, this is why no one trusts people.
Yeah.
Because I thought this guy was homeless and he has a fucking black Amex.
And do we know that it was actually his and not
It said
a
Mickey,
stolen,
and I can't remember the last name. But
it was Michael Rubens was the name.
His real name, Mikey.
Michael Rubens, but he went by Mickey. I think so. I could be wrong on that.
It could be, but I thought it said Mickey on there.
Maybe it does. Maybe he's officially Mickey.
It changed. He tried to slip me a Mickey. No, that's so weird. But what I'm saying is, I worked as a waitress on those nights with those people. And I'm going to say those people.
Yeah.
You people. And it was hard. And, like you just build a wall and you wind up hating people. And we work directly with people. When I was waiting tables, obviously the service industry.
Right.
And now comedy, and now I'm looking at pictures of owls. You know what I mean? I
never would have put up with any sort of owl pictures, let alone a video. 2, I was an open micer with those crazy people, and then when I got a job as a doorman, they acted like they had an in. I'm like, you picked a number out of a bucket after me. We are not friends.
I was so mean to them, and I think I'm repenting for that now because I'd be like, get in your section. Like they
Ziggy would come up. Oh, hello. God damn it. These people.
Did you yell at them too? Like say, get in your, I would put them in the potluck section. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, there was just I hosted a lot of open mics then, and so I would get a lot of them like, I didn't get a number, so if you think you can get me in, I'm like, I'm not doing favors for you. You're like a 70-year-old homeless person. No, I don't have 3 minutes for you. You're going to do the same 3 minutes you've been doing for the last year and a half?
By the way, it's what's missing from the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
Sunday and Monday nights.
Yeah.
Open mic nights. It's really annoying. I want it to come back. I think we should start a petition.
I mean, I don't want to be here on those nights. So.
No, but I would come in on Mondays every once in a while to work out.
Yeah.
But like, that was one of my favorite elements, even though it was fucked up. Like
once you're not a waitress or a doorman,
and we can leave.
Yeah.
You're not subjected there all night. To Boone being like, oh, who's gay, or
it is an important question though, because when Boone finds out. Usher.
Usher. Remember, he would tell you Usher was gay every day. I'm like, okay.
Sounds good,
Boone. What do I care? What do you think? He's not hitting on me.
I spent 3 years listening to the same. 50 Cent looked like Harriet Tubman. Yeah. Okay, man. I guess. I don't know. He does. I found out he was from San Bernardino, and he gets so mad. How do you know?
Oh, yeah.
I just heard. Well, I don't live there now. I know. That's why I said that's where you're from.
Doesn't he have like an incredible like storage space somewhere with like everything? I forget who worked with him.
That's the rumor.
Was like,
yeah.
He has all this shit.
He is the one-man thrift store.
What if he went back to his family during this? He doesn't use Google, by the way. He asks people. Like I had my friend David Banks, the great late David Banks, was on the patio, and David worked for everybody. Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
All this. So so Boone kept asking him questions, but he was like, "Whatever happened to?" And he'd be like, "The third person from the Temptations." Like it was like weird, random. Yeah. And David, for some odd reason, had the answers. And then I didn't introduce Boone to David. I was talking to Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
And Boone
Mr.
came
Banks
up.
Now.
Well, is the great Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
I boasted about him because he's in the Richard Pryor doc, Omit the Logic.
Okay.
And he came up with that because he would always say, if you want to understand Richard, you got to omit the logic. And then you can understand Richard. Like
right.
he was so perfect. And so I was talking to him, and when Boone came up, I didn't introduce him because I didn't want to be annoyed by Boone.
Sure.
Asking weird questions and trying to sell my friend.
And you don't want to set it up so then someone starts talking to Boone thinking this is your friend, and then he's kind of crazy. And
right.
They're like, why'd you introduce me to that vagabond?
Danish was with me, and I introduced Jeff.
Yeah.
I introduced Jeff Danish, so Jeff is talking to him, and Jeff's fascinated because he's like, Ellen. This is the guy that would always say, Eleanor was fucking everybody.
Yeah.
But he says it about everybody. It's like a thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And so
Ralphie May was fucking everybody.
Mitzi was fucking everybody. Like he
yeah.
just always say it.
Any woman on the planet, just out there fucking everybody.
It's so good. And so just Danish was like, character study, character study. And so he's watching, and I'm just like, doing what you normally do. Block Boone.
Yeah.
Like, no, bitch, I don't want you in
Try
this.
and shift him out.
So, and then he started like leaping over. Oh, let me ask you a question. Whatever happened to Richard Pryor's?
You talking to Jeff Daniels? Boone is excited already.
That's why he was there, because Jeff was there.
Yeah.
So he was trying to and so he kept asking questions. And at one point, David Banks looked and he goes, "Oh, you funny." And I go, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, he's funny," meaning like he's gay, like like the old school.
Yeah, I mean that's a generational.
And he goes, "Is that why you didn't introduce me?" I go, "Not because he's gay, because he's annoying."
Yeah.
Like I said,
a little of this,
I
a
don't
little
care
of that.
if he's gay, but he's a nuisance.
Yeah.
Regardless of his sexual preference.
What,
and
why I
David
gotta
was
be
like,
gay?
He said, "I should have caught on, bitch. You didn't introduce me, and I fell into that motherfucker."
Well,
But I miss those moments,
yeah.
even though they were crazy and silly and stupid or whatever. Like you're just like so embarrassed. Even if you're talking to industry, Boone has a million times and Mickey come up on. Boone will come up. "Oh, let me ask you a question. What happened to?" And I'm like, ugh.
Comedy Store lawyer tried to set me up with a 3D virtual reality comedy special thing. And so he's obviously just peddling one of his clients. But they're showing me this virtual reality thing, like just showing you what a live show could look like, kind of. And while they're showing it to me in the back of the kitchen, Boone walks over with a roller cart of accessories.
Right.
He's like, "What is that?" And I go, "It's virtual reality. Put it on, Boone." So Boone put it on.
No.
And it's one of those moments where you're just like, yeah, one of the Comedy Store vagabonds is wandering into the worst pitch of all time. And Boone puts it on, and then it's great. Like, his mind was obviously not prepared for virtual reality. Ooh, I'm on a building. He's just shouting, "I'm on a building right now. Ooh, do not look down." But he's just standing underneath the staircase in the back.
Oh my God, I would have died laughing.
It was so great. And you could tell the virtual reality people were not happy that this guy was, one, wearing their equipment, and two,
right.
"Well, I don't know what that was, but I don't think I liked it." Like, Boone speaks for the people. So
Right. But those are the characters that kind of come here and build the place. But we also had, there was Mickey, Boone. Remember the guy with no face?
Oh, yeah, no face.
Yeah, no face.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no...
"Hey, asshole, don't stick your no face on my beer."
So mean. PJ just yelling at him. The dude grabbed the beer that PJ was drinking. PJ was not having it.
Oh shit.
"Can I borrow a cigarette?"
"Hey, I'm not giving a cigarette to a dude with no face."
Where would he smoke? It would come out of everywhere.
He would just put it in the hole, and then it would just sit there. It was pretty uncomfortable. He just had eyes and a hole for a mouth, basically.
I remember, and
Yeah.
if I saw him smoke, I would freak out. Like sometimes I joke and say I would do like if I still smoked, which I would love to.
Yeah.
Continually chain smoke. I'd be the lady with the hole.
Yeah.
But I'd be making O's through it. Like I'd be like
got
trying
style.
to make hearts, like ooh, ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
like with my.
Whew.
I'd have some skill.
No face was like, This life needs to
No
end.
Face would have just been like a cartoon. The smoke would have came out his eyes, his nose, his ears.
Yeah, I mean,
He had nothing.
It was
He had
very
no
uncomfortable.
shell.
Yeah, all of the.
It was just skin, right?
Yeah, all the bone had been blown out in a suicide attempt, I believe.
And then he went
But
on
he
stage
survived.
and didn't address it at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of quality people here back then. Monkey Bones was still around.
Monkey Bones. We called him Witch. You called him Monkey Bones.
He was Monkey Bones to us. Then he became Mike Dick. That was the name he was
Why?
convinced would trick
Take him over
the
the top?
audience
Oh,
into
got
thinking he was American. Didn't try and hide the
With
accent
the
at all.
eyebrows?
Yeah.
Oh my
And the
God. He
thick
looked like
Yugoslavian accent. He looked like a homeless Grandpa Munster. Bro, you want lighter? Look, looks like big black dick. Very funny, very funny.
and he'd just be flicking it in
flicking
your
it.
face. I'm like, I don't want the dick. I don't want the dick.
Look.
Get the dick out of my mouth.
Look, you click the balls. $5. Very funny.
Every time, no
I
matter
want
where we were. I could be walking out of church. He'd come up with some
Yeah.
ridiculous, so funny. He'd always have a a bag filled with shit, and he'd pull it all out.
He
Freddie made him bring it all out every time.
Yeah.
Freddie Soto.
And he got he was very excited whenever I would see him. I would taunt him about the Yugoslavian dictator who was executing people. Why didn't Slobodan Milosevic take care of trash like you, Monkey Bones?
Oh my!
Oh, you are
God.
insulting me, but you are very smart. This is the man who wish he could kill me. No, you buy big black
I run
dick
away.
lighter.
I run away. He don't know get me.
Hey, it's not Monkey Bones anymore. Now I am Mike Dick. People will think I am from America.
Really? What?
all right.
How would they?
There's no signs that you're not Monkey Bones. 9 fingers.
I had a guy in Vegas this week. I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there, right?
Okay.
And so this guy, I asked him where he was from. It was a small crowd on a late show, and they were kind of like just dead. So I was like, okay, I can't do my material. I have to wake these people up.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
we gotta figure
interact.
something out. And so he was a little guy. He was cool as shit, and his wife, they were little cute. You know how two small people get together? I want to bite them.
Classic.
So they're so cute. And I go, where are you from? He went, Chicago.
Just are you?
Is that right? Is that the south side? Is that the south side of Chicago?
No, I am from United States of and/or America. What do you ask? It seemed like there was a lot of.
I go, bro, relax. There's nobody in here. I'm not going to swab your cheek. We're not trying to get rid of you. I just want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
I go, I do feel like you are going to take this. I do feel like we're in a scene in Die Hard right now. So where is
Could
it
be.
you're from? And he was from Poland.
Yeah, you don't want to
I
tell
speak
people that.
5 languages, he started yelling. So, excuse me, if the English gets a computer. I was like, by the way, my accent's pretty terrible.
That was a solid Polish accent.
Was it?
I thought you were from the old country for a moment there. I mean,
you start making Polish jokes.
yeah, you can't say you're Polish. Had a comedy
I think
club.
I was
That's-
Polish in doing my
Yeah.
accent. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I did it wrong.
No,
I
that
did it
was-
wrong.
that was perfect. No Pole could pull that off.
No
I can.
Pole could pull that. My dad always made Polish jokes.
Yeah, that was a very.
Why?
They just weren't known for their
Smarts?
intelligence for some reason.
Okay.
I think they were, more of a rural people while the rest of Europe was starting to come along, industrialize. They were slower moving.
A lot of people got upset with me making fun of the Europe, with the Hitler thing. I said, hey, man, that's who I am.
Yeah. Oh, with our video clip of you talking about how much you loved Hitler growing up. Unbelievable.
My love for Hitler, guys. And then I started dating Jews, and I was like, all right, I'll stop loving
He's
Hitler.
kind of.
All
this guy seems like
right.
a bad egg. That's my whole take on the guy.
He seemed like a bad egg.
Yeah, I don't think he was, up to very good. I think.
I think he was surrounded by a lot of bad eggs. I'm going to be honest. A lot of bad, dumb eggs. Were they Polish?
You buy a dozen. If one of them's dumb, the other 11 probably are too.
Yeah.
Just general rule of thumb. Recently, I tweeted that I thought R. Kelly really starting to seem like he might be a bad egg. And I had some person respond on Twitter like, well, I met Robert at a show in Chicago in 1996, and he could not have been more of a gentleman. I'm just like, cool, bro.
A guy?
It's one of these Twitter weirdos whose name is like Crazy Bear 48, and they have like a picture of some sort of a strange dragon or something. You're just like, these
Do you fight
losers.
with people on Twitter?
Sometimes. I still get into it.
Really?
I took a little time
my
off,
anger.
but people are just so terrible.
Right, but you want to write like okay, so there's this new Comedy Store fan page, which is kind of cool if you guys ever want to go look at it. A lot of older comics are in there, like cool comics I hadn't seen in years. Comics.
This is the people Mitzi passed thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mitzi's Comedy Store comics, whatever. But like when I first started here, there was like people that they would talk about like, and I didn't even know them. So some of those guys are in the group. You know, it's kind of cool. Guys and girls are in the group, so it's kind of cool.
A lot of it's interesting. It is because it's like
they're very nice.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's really cool, and so somebody put up what Mitzi used to do, because I always joke about Mitzi. She would have been a great wrestling manager with her crazy names like Night of 1,000 Guidos,
right.
Arabian Nights.
She was good with themes that would no longer be appreciated by the standards of today.
100%. Like Night of 1,000 Guidos, we literally had to put the red and white tablecloths.
Yeah.
She used to make us tape them. I'm like, oh, God, this is so racist, but awesome. And it's so whatever. So somebody put up the Night of 1,000 Guidos, and I will, oh, man, love it. And then, like, immediately a comic, like, got in on there and was like, oh, you know, some of your stories you told on Ari Shaffir's podcast were inaccurate, you know, and I'm like, and he's like, I guess at a certain age, you know, trying to dig that I'm old or whatever. I'm like, I guess at a certain age, all the lines are blurred. And I'm like, well, really, at a certain age, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm telling the story the way I fucking saw it.
Yeah.
And if you don't fucking like it, catch me outside, ho.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But it's like, why are you bringing negativity into something that is kind of cool? That's a pussy move.
I try and bring a lot of negativity to that fan
Do you
page.
really? Do
yeah.
you? Why?
That same comment about Night of 1,000 Guidos, someone commented, hey, a lot of those comics ended up being Trump supporters.
Okay, now that's a dick thing. That whoever wrote that is being a dick.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, why can't you be in the moment? Who cares who they voted for or whatever?
Yeah. And so then I commented, no one ever said they were smart or funny, just Italian. Because I think it's important that we maintain honesty to some level.
But see, at least you made it funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if people do it. Make it funny.
Yeah, I think I had to stop following it because once people started posting the clips of their YouTube videos, I was just like, all right, I've seen enough of this.
But see, I feel
you've been bombing for 25 years. I don't need to see the timeline of you bombing.
Look, the other day, I'm telling you, I think I'm being haunted by Comedy Store people. I turned on my TV the other day, and it's like, you know, Spectrum. It goes for some reason, it goes immediately to Spectrum News 1. Like, I used to turn the TV on, it would go on to whatever channel I had it on. If I had it on ESPN
Old school,
or HBO, okay, I'm elderly. I get it, certain age, whatever.
Yeah.
So I turn it on, and I didn't hear what he was talking about, but I was like, God, that guy looks familiar. And then it came across the bottom. It said Jazz Kaner. That's going to mean nothing to you?
I know
He was
Jazz
performing
Kaner
here when I started.
Only from the headshot. He kind of looked like Frankenstein with a mullet.
Well, he must be some kind of activist.
Okay.
I don't know what he was trying to, but he was on there saying, we need to fix blah, 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 whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Jazz Kaner. I hadn't seen him in years.
I was so excited once when I was watching the local news, and they were talking about some crazy dude had just driven his car onto the Venice boardwalk and killed some people.
Was it Jazz?
And so I'm watching it just like, whoa, man. This is carnage, and then they just cut to, it says Barry Diamond, local resident. And it's Barry Diamond, hair stark white. Well, someone, made a terrible decision, and I'm just like.
Wait, okay, so he didn't drive the car. He was just a spectator.
He was someone who, he was a local resident who was giving their take on it.
That's so
Had it been Barry Diamond mowing people down with his car.
It would have been even better.
Yeah, we would have had him on the podcast that week from whatever prison. But
I would love to have Angry Barry Diamond on the fucking podcast.
Yeah, that would be spectacular.
Barry is a very funny, he always made me laugh, Barry.
He's an odd man. That's all
very
I'm going to say.
But he always made me laugh. And like
very 1980s style of entertainment.
Definitely.
He's more of an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
He would do,
And he would
impressions that would be considered inappropriate now.
Okay.
They would refer. They'd say, "Hey, that blackface voice is not appropriate." Hey, you cool bobcat. Yeah, all right, man. You can't do that anymore.
What's up, my brother?
Yeah,
or something like
there's
that.
a lot of that.
And I would come in the room and he'd be like, "That's my wife, Eleanor, 14 years old. God bless her." And I just look at him like, "Oh shit."
It's a classic pedophile bit.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, "Okay," and he's like, "She's got the body of a 17-year-old." I was like, "Oh my god, this is so bad."
Yeah.
And of course the audience would be like, "Ha ha ha."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." And then when I aged in his act, I knew it was time to quit.
That hurts.
'Cause, yeah, that hurt. That hurt, Barry.
Yeah.
That hurt.
The clock of the berries is really how you know if you're aging as a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was Barry Sobel no longer giving me the eye.
Got it.
When I walked down the hallway, and I just thought, I guess I outgrew it.
Barry's not hitting on me anymore.
He
Who am I?
didn't even give me a second look. Sorry, Brenton's here to take all the heat.
One time as a goof, my mom said something that made me laugh so hard because she always just does these dumb whatever asides.
Yeah.
And so my Aunt Bernice passed away.
Okay.
And my Uncle Tom was single. My Uncle Tom is my dad's older brother. And very handsome, very like a real Marine, tough.
Sure. When men were men.
Yeah, like old school, right? My
Sure.
Uncle Tommy, so nice and just the nicest, sweetest man ever, and was married to Bernie. You know, obviously.
So it's his wife that died.
Right. So he was single,
Yeah.
and my mom heard that he was going out and like going to like single because they had dated from 16 till death do us part.
He was always,
you know?
yeah. He said, "I'm free. Contract's
been
expired."
Served. Yeah. And my mom goes, "Look at him going out. He didn't even give me a look-see."
So good. I appreciate someone who appreciates the right things. He should want this ass, and the fact that he doesn't. We all know what a look-see is.
I know, but like it's just in my head.
So
I had
old
this image
school.
of like women standing around and
tossing the booty out.
My mom throwing her little iron petticoat around.
Yeah.
That's her nickname, the iron petticoat.
Damn. She sounds like
you couldn't get in there.
Yeah, she sounds like a matriarch Stalin. Heads will roll.
Matriarch Stalin.
You get with the program, or you will march to your own death.
You will definitely march to your own. But old Chucky K got in there.
He found a way.
Sorry. Oh my God, I'm going to be in trouble for this.
Don't
use this
watching?
Clip.
Is your family watching? They get into it.
Tommy and Johnny always listen.
Yeah.
So and then sometimes Tommy would play it like before he went to work on the TV, like hook his computer into the TV and just like play it, like watch the video, whatever. And my mom would come down. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
What show is this Eleanor's on? Like just no idea that it's a podcast. What channel's she on?
Yeah. That's like Argus Hamilton when I first had him on the podcast, like episode 5.
Yeah.
What station is this going to be on? I'm like, we're recording on a handheld microphone in the Comedy Store phone room. It's not going to be on a channel.
Hey, look, he probably, in his defense, he probably did Skippy Low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skippy Low was on cable access.
Is this AM or FM? I know it can't be XM because you millennials.
You baby boomers. Me and Freddie used to go crazy. Freddie Soto, when he would come in, Argus would just go on stage. He'd have a liter of Diet Coke.
Yep.
And he'd swig it. He'd take his coat off, throw it on the floor, put the liter on the stool, and go into his bits. And we would just wait to see after how many punchlines did he swig the Diet Coke.
Ugh.
Didn't you tell me he was drinking Mountain Dew?
Yeah, Diet Mountain Dew in La Jolla.
Diet Mountain Dew is so good.
I just started, I go, wow, I can't believe you're drinking Mountain Dew. 'Cause it just, to me, it's like a young person drink. At a certain age, you have to understand that Mountain Dew is fucking terrible.
But it's disgusting.
But when you're young, you're just like, it's yellow and it feels great. And you can tell that's where Argus was. And I just go, yeah, plus you get that extra caffeine. What do you mean? Well, there's like 1.5 times the amount of caffeine in the Mountain Dew as a Coke.
Shit.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was like 7-Up. This explains why I like it so much. Like he's just drinking like 4 liters of Mountain Dew a night.
Yeah. fucking crazy.
It's as close to cocaine as he can do now. It's just chugging gallons of Mountain Dew. Oh, maybe I'll go run again.
That's how he was doing 17 miles.
Put on the knee highs to go jog.
But there's caffeine in Diet Coke, too.
Yeah.
The caffeine's still there. It's just the sugar is not. And
Correct.
it's replaced with some ridiculous artificial nonsense that gives you brain cancer.
Well, oxygen can give you brain cancer.
100%. 100%.
But yeah, it's definitely not healthy. But
no. Aspartame gives me headaches bad.
I can drink any of it. It doesn't
really?
affect me.
Even like if anything says light or diet, if I eat it, I'll throw up immediately.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
My
remember
body rejects phony.
They had these chips in the late 90s.
They
Lay's
caused anal leakage.
Yeah, wow.
I remember
chips.
those.
And on the back the thing was like, will cause loose stool or diarrhea. I'm like, why'd you put both? It makes it uncomfortable. If I read it's going to cause diarrhea, I'm still going to eat them. Loose stool makes it sound really bad.
Loose stool is like, wait, is that different than diarrhea?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
It's like still kind of. I don't even want to think about it.
That goes back to the George Brett shitting his pants story, which is one of my favorite childhood heroes.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in the past. If someone listens to a lot of these podcasts, they probably know
right.
it. But he has a whole story about how he shit his pants in Las Vegas, and it's amazing. It's online, but it's like 5 minutes of him just talking about shitting his pants. It's a very Richie Taylor moment, and everyone's so uncomfortable. It's fantastic. But it starts off, and he's like, went to a great little seafood restaurant, and then he tells a story about how he just couldn't hold it in. It's just leaking. You're like, this doesn't sound like that good of a seafood restaurant. From the potato
chips or just from
No, this is
cocaine?
just a different story. I'm saying
cocaine shits help too. I don't know if you're aware of that.
that is also a rumor. Argus very clean colon in the early 80s, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it shot right out for Argus. It just I got to take a cocaine shit. I can't imagine. But wait, I got to see that video.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched
I'll
the
send
video.
it to you. It's pretty disturbing. Everyone at home, all the people, dedicated listeners.
Google that, George.
I wonder where our demographics are. I'm guessing we get a lot of Eastern European because of the Monkey Bones impression.
Definitely.
That's going to definitely pick up our numbers in Yugoslavia.
We could get some Wisconsin or Midwest. We do Mitzi more.
Yep.
Huh?
I'm guessing
that's where I'm from.
We get a ton of Central African listeners.
100%.
No real reason for that either.
I was curious. I mean, it's not even the Bushman. Is that why?
I wish. Lahai's another one that's no longer around.
I wonder if he's celebrating Norm Macdonald.
Finally, I beat you again, Norm Macdonald's. I beat you at Star Search, now I beat you at life.
As he's driving a city
Norm
bus
McDonald's.
around. It was always Norm Macdonald's.
Always funny.
Yeah, man, I beat Norm Macdonald's at the Star Search.
What a great character. Remember he was talking about collecting cans.
Yeah.
What a great episode. Go find that one.
Find the Bushman episode. Give it a listen.
That's how we pick up women in Africa, man. I throw a coconut at her head.
We do it to Americans, too. You remember? Yeah, because he said they were stupid Americans. He would throw coconuts at them.
He's one of those odd people who at one point was living on the couch of one of my friends from college, Kurt Thrutchley.
No.
Rest in peace. And
oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude used to do like a lot of video filming and editing for everybody. So he passed sometime during the pandemic from other things, I think.
Wasn't he working for TMZ too or something? Or
no, that was his buddy Jeremiah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I knew it was somebody okay.
Yeah. But at one point, Kurt was living in, I think he was living in Van Nuys or something. But he had Bushman sleeping on his couch.
No.
And he was making videos with Bushman. It was like a cooking show, Cooking with Bushman.
I don't know who's in charge of Kurt's stuff, but can we get those?
Yeah, someday.
Oh, I felt that.
And then
there's a mouse coming at me.
And then another time he had Johnny Zapp, another Comedy Store vagabond that was living in a moving truck in front of Kurt's apartment.
Holy shit.
And this was around the same era where he was Johnny Zapp was shitting his pants. He shit his pants in his car, and then called Kurt and was like, "Kurt, I shit my pants. I'm coming over."
No fucking way.
Yeah.
And Kurt would be like, "Okay, come over."
Kurt's like, "I'll meet you at the Carl's Jr. on the corner of whatever street it was in Burbank and something." And
No.
yeah. So he drives up there, and Johnny has shit his pants, and he brings him like a pair of basketball shorts or something. And he's like, "I gotta come to your house. I gotta clean up. You gotta let me take a bath." So he.
Oh, can I take a bath at your house?
Yeah, Kurt would have allowed that for sure.
What happened?
Oh, this is our demographics here.
Oh, shit.
Unbelievable.
Canada, look at Canada.
Chicago. Look at that. Number 2 top city, parts unknown.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about Sweden right there? Sweden,
Cyprus.
New
Yep.
Zealand. All right. Look at this.
Austin, not number 9. I want it
Austin?
lower. I don't
No,
want you listening out there.
Oh, come on. Get it higher.
Ecuador, not bad. Made the top 10.
I know who that is.
Who's in Ecuador?
Well, isn't he over there?
Yeah, that could be.
Well, Rick.
I listen to the Comedy Store podcast, okay?
A lot of inaccuracies,
Let
Rick.
me book talent for the podcast. All right, I'm sending over Francisco again. He's going to do 5 up top. That would be exciting if that's who that
I
is.
miss you, Tommy.
Is
So
it
much
Ecuador?
fun.
Maybe it is Ecuador. Paraguay? One of them.
Something like that. I'm guessing you guys said it. Cyprus. I mean, wow, who knew?
I don't
This is
even know
exciting.
what that is.
Same.
Is that the country, Cyprus?
I thought it was the singer. Cyprus. Or the group, Cypress Hill. Is that right?
Nice. I believe that's named after a part of L.A., so maybe that's Long Beach is where we're getting it.
Cyprus.
Glendale.
What's up?
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Strong Armenian contingent in our fan base.
We do have a lot of Armenian fans, and I like that. Thank you.
You know, these stats are what I thought. I'm excited to see that 85% of our listeners are right here in the good old United States of Andor America, where I am from. Canada, number 2, disgusting.
I like it.
I'm not a fan of that at all. I don't know if there's a way that we can specifically request to shut the podcast off to any listener in Canada.
Okay, I like what you're saying.
A lot of
as long as
podcasts-
we can do the same to United Kingdom.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
still holding a grudge.
shut them down. You're still mad about the whole 1776
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
A real American would
and
be.
the Ireland and my Irish friends
Sure.
that they rape
Listen,
and pillage.
less than 1%. We can't care about Ireland.
Wait a minute. How
Australia?
dare you? That's another part
They
of my
brought
relatives that the United
criminals?
Kingdom sent
Yeah.
there.
More Kerrigans.
See, a lot of Kerrigans over there in Australia because
Bunch of toast
number
eaters
3.
at number 4. That's not bad. Those stats are...
Sweden is nice. I like the fish.
No, I'm not into it. My mean grandma was Swedish.
Sweden.
by
Yeah, you said
nature.
she was a good cook.
She made Swedish food that honestly should be banned in most first world countries. I don't know what they make that stuff out of, but
I
you're
thought
out,
they only
Sweden.
make that at IKEA.
That's possible. Maybe that's the
The
deal.
Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
Don't they make them at IKEA?
They do make those at IKEA. I think you can buy them at IKEA, or
That
maybe
is
they give
so
them out.
gross.
But Swedish meatballs are truly disgusting. So if anyone is listening to this while eating Swedish meatballs, whew,
I
do
think
not
I
let
once
us know.
ate a what are they called? Swanson dinner.
Yeah,
I think I did eat
Yeah.
the Swedish meatballs.
yeah.
That's probably what happened to my lower intestines, but whatever.
Yeah, it's one of the go-tos. I remember Marie Callender's. That was always one of the big things. We got Swedish meatballs. I'd be like, why would you tell me that? And I would leave. I was the type of classy dude. I was taking my lady to Marie Callender's.
That's nice of you.
Sit down with
Wow.
the salad bar.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been classy.
That's
how I
good for
hooked
you.
Corinne.
I get it. Corinne's lucky.
She knew Marie Callender's.
Norway. I mean, Germany. Hello.
It's got to be just Frankie
That's-
Lemmerman.
Frankie Lemmerman and a few
Oh,
of my.
I'm so fucked up. So fucked up. I have been in Polish Shaw's hot tub.
hot tub. His hair. Do you think he still does his hair the same?
He's got
He
it.
did
still
hit
do
me
it.
up on Facebook.
He did.
Couple. It was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago.
Pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
I hope Frankie is just living this
I
best
hope he
life.
made it through.
Yeah.
I hope he's still in a what's that called? A singlet.
Yeah.
I hope he's in a singlet.
Looking
with his
super
high hair.
uncomfortable.
And
he was
just
a weird
fucking,
dude.
German models. It's just perfect.
He did bring this girl who was an actress in the movie Euro Trip, and it was like a comedy that came out in the early 2000s.
Was Tom Green in that?
No, that was Road Trip.
Road Trip. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew there was something.
Yeah, Frankie Lemon did bring a German girl who was one of the stars of Euro Trip.
That makes perfect sense.
And I remember being shocked at the thought that Frankie knew people who was real. What did that say?
It said 55. I like that he turned the lights on.
Yeah, so we can see him better. I thought he was insulting me, and I assumed. I know him well enough at this point.
Should we Google Boone Shakalaka beating Norm Macdonald? R.I.P. Norm
It was
Macdonald.
Bushman, not Boone
I mean, oh my God, the Bushman! Look at that, me crossing blacks like that. That's racism.
I'll beat Norm Macdonald off.
Oh, he would. The Bushman.
Yeah.
No, come on, man.
Come on, man. Eleanor.
I don't get any respect, man.
He would always yell that.
Rick, I need to tell you something very important.
Yo, what's up, Bushman?
I don't care where you are. I don't care who you're with, inside, outside, rain or shine. You never turn down a blowjob.
Listen, man, I'm glad you told me. That was the kind of just
very
solid
important.
advice you
That's
could get from
important,
people who hung
FYI.
out at the Comedy Store in the early 2000s. It was really something that, I lived my life by.
The best was when we had him on the podcast, and it just like, getting him here, getting him down, like
It's
a
a
lot.
process. Yeah,
It's he's royalty
sure.
to an extent.
Yeah.
And then everybody upstairs, is that the Bushman?
Yeah.
Like people freaking out. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so
Yeah.
long. And he just felt like a king.
Yeah.
He was like,
He used
I got to start calling in for spots. And I was like,
Yeah,
hold
I don't
on
know
a minute.
about that. When I was a parking lot guy, he would roll in here in his Lexus, and I remember being like, this dude has a Lexus? And I'd get in to move it, and his two daughters would just be sitting in the back seat, and I'd be like, Bushman, why are your kids in your car? I have to go to work, man. And I'd be like, this is not okay.
$15
Yeah.
up there.
He
Back
wasn't
then
even-
it was 15.
He
if
wasn't
was
even
in the
on
R.
the lineup. He was just here hanging out. He'd hang out for like an hour and a half, just smoking pot
Well,
and
Mitzi
partying.
used to give him spots.
Not
if I
in my
remember.
era.
Oh, okay, she gave him some spots. He probably annoyed her or something.
No.
No.
Mitzi, come on.
Yeah.
You need me, man. The African guy.
I beat no McDonald's.
He'd have on his
Oh yeah, the garb. The best was seeing him in Venice Beach.
yeah, that's what
with
I'm saying.
just
the loincloth on.
loincloth
Yeah.
on, and then the spear
Yep.
natch. I mean, it's perfectly normal to be in
He
Venice
played
with
the
a
stereotype to a T. It was
put
like
the
full
money
on.
in the pan. Put the money in the
It was
pan.
full on like the gods must be crazy
Yes.
style character.
And he had a skillet, like an iron skillet and a sword. I'm like, dude, that's 2 weapons.
Don't worry about Bushman. He brought what he thought television in the 90s needed, and that
And
was.
he wasn't wrong, man.
Yeah.
That would be
Come on, man. I
amazing.
did a scene in Under the Sun.
Okay, I don't know what that is,
Under
man.
the sun. Is that from Little Mermaid? Like
Yeah,
a different version?
You
Under
did a
the
scene.
Under the
Oh.
Tuscany sun?
I don't worry about it. I just say, good for you, Bushman. You've done it.
Didn't he tell us a story about pissing off Bruce Willis on the set somewhere?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I forgot. Oh, man. There's so many. I miss all that stupidness, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if it'll ever come back.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It won't come back as long as there's, regulations for pandemic safety and things like that.
Pandemic,
not worth it.
schmandemic, guys. It's a conspiracy.
Yep. That's
Listen
what
to
we're
our
trying
new.
to say.
We're going to get these numbers up because we have a new conspiracy
that?
segment.
84.7. What do you think that really means? It's a percentage letting people know how to purchase children on the internet.
100%. This must be one of those. Is it IKEA that they
We're
order
gonna
them
get
from?
a lot of
What's that place they say you order?
Wayfair.
Wayfair.
You can order children on Wayfair. That's why Australia's 2.5%.
You can get a desk and a child
That's
in
the
it.
rate. Man, we're gonna get so many
Or
listeners
are
from
the
this.
desks made out of the children's skin? Like I always forget.
Buy a child desk. What it means is what it means.
What are they doing down there? He's
All right.
saying wrap it
We
up.
gotta roll.
Don't do this like you're big time. Look at Maddie Lockwood's trying to hit on me. He's showing me his tits.
Nice.
He's showing me his tits. I'm pressing charges.
This is offensive.
Guys.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening. Comedy Store Podcast. Like, subscribe. Come on. Get it together. We're going to start with guests soon, but, we're trying in slowly. We're breaking it in slowly.
Follow me on social media and listen to Rick Ingram Talks to Strangers. Also,
go to his live show.
Yeah.
October, what is it, 13th?
It's the 13th.
8 p.m.
Yep. I think tickets are like $10 or $15 or something.
Yeah, that's nothing, guys.
$10. That's a great deal.
You can come and have fun.
Come on.
And Sarah Tiana has a great lineup. First of all, she's amazing, and I'm thrilled that they're working together again because she has been trying to make this happen for so long, and it really is
she's
great
a hustler.
concept.
She's good at it. So.
She's very good at it, and she's got a lot of good surprises in store. So
get tickets. Come if you know some idiot who likes to talk. Bring him too, so we can make fun of that pile of shit.
I'm gonna be here to heckle in the back. So come on, guys, come through.
Come out. And just keep listening. And thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.